how to make a research claim, with an example study. Let us first begin by suggesting that research claim and thesis statement may be used interchangeably. A researcher must consider making a claim or writing a thesis statement for his work. He does this by formulating a research question that is answered by the claim statement. Although the thesis statement belongs to the end of the introductory paragraph, it should be developed, supported, and explained in the body of the report by means of examples and evidence. Research claim or thesis statement enables the author to make specific claims or assertions about a topic, which is open to debate and challenge. An example study explains how a research claim might be made. Example study. The example thesis presents a study that develops a valuation approach which integrates the sustainability dimensions into the valuation of process industries on the investment value basis. The approach assesses the extent to which industry sustainability features meet the local sustainability criteria and broadens the valuation theory for the sustainability applications to investment values for process industries. Example study title: Integration of sustainability dimensions into the valuation of process industries in Nigeria. The abstract. The primary role of the valuer in response to the climate change-related issues would be to induce and adopt measures that can integrate sustainability adjustments into the valuation process. Real estate valuers, as stakeholders, could also play a contributory role to sustainable development by giving sustainability-driven advice to clients and reflecting sustainability capacities of process industries in property valuation, based on investment value. Valuation theory and practice remain without a methodological approach for incorporating sustainability issues into process industries in Nigeria. Even now, it seems problematic to value process industries for sustainability on a basis other than market value, such as investment value, and for purposes such as individual investment and operational objectives. It denotes that a gap exists in the real estate valuation theory and practice. In the absence of an appropriate methodology, this study explores the Delphi method. The quantitative research method was employed. The study discusses the case for sustainability, emerging normative, and the evidence-based valuation approaches, sustainability indicators, green building tools and sustainability drivers, including the knowledge-based support systems. It develops a valuation approach based on the modified cost method of valuation to specify the methodological advances for assessing the extent to which the sustainability features of the case study industry meet the specified sustainability criteria. The Delphi method sets 23 experts into two heterogeneous panels. The experts identified 39 indicators and scored the indicators after individual industrial surveys and direct observation by experts. Thereafter, the experts examined the environmental audit report on the case study industry. The South Africa Greenstosser, 2007, equal scoring weights of 10/2 points was adopted for the determination of the scores by the experts. This study found 16 critical sustainability indicators, 4 from each of the 4 specified dimensions, for the paints industry in Nigeria. We then obtained the industrial sustainability-related obsolescence correction factor, I.S.R.OCF, of 0.671 as the sustainability-based performance of the industry, and the fair value to the industry owner based on specific theoretical considerations such as externalities, impact compliance, expectation, substitution, and inducement. The data triangulation method was used to validate the study. The valuation approach builds knowledge for theory construction and evokes the design choices from the subjective intuitive Delphi techniques of foresight through expert consensus opinion. For practical application purposes, it initiates the integration of the multidisciplinary dimension for valuing process industries, which could be used as a template for estimating the industrial sustainability compliance for real estate valuation on the investment value basis. The prime expectations are that valuers can proceed with the valuation of process industries for sustainability, induce the keenness of industries to certify their buildings, while also making real estate valuation sustainability compliant and responsible. Valuers' knowledge support and perceptive studies justify the acceptability and suitability of the valuation approach and elicit the significant predictors of the support system. The study claims that there is an impact perspective to industrial sustainability in real estate valuation. The industrial sustainability-related obsolescence correction factor I.S.R.OCF approach complies with the RICS valuation practice statements VPS.4, 2.5G, 3-4, of 2014. Keywords: sustainability, process industries, Delphi method, property valuation, Nigeria. Example research question to be answered by the claim or thesis statement. Does sustainability obsolescence affect the values of non-market properties, such as process industries, if their sustainability uptake is not checked with compliance with local sustainability metrics? Research claim explained in the body of the report. The research claim. A claim argues, persuades, convinces, proves, or provocatively suggests something to a reader who may or may not initially agree with a proposition. Weida and Stolley, 2013. States that a claim defines the thesis direction, goals, scope, and exigence and is reinforced by quotations, evidence, argumentation, expert opinion, statistics, and telling details. A claim argues for a certain interpretation or understanding of the subject matter. Classification. The claim relates to industrial sustainability. Sustainability is a form of obsolescence that could be handled by the use of a substituted market that scores the extent to which the industrial sustainability factors meet the prescribed sustainability criteria, where no sustainability market exists. The study claims that there is an impact perspective to industrial sustainability in real estate valuation. Obsolescence and property values are interdependent. In specific terms, obsolescence and sustainability are negatively correlated insofar as lack of prescribed initiatives lead to a loss of property values, whether there is a sustainability market or not. Where no market exists, as is the case for process industries, the industrial sustainability-related obsolescence correction factor, I.S.R.OCF, approach should be used to value the process industries on the basis of investment value for the reason that it seems to deal more effectively with issues of double counting and does not treat sustainability in isolation of other value influencing factors as raised in the literature. This claim answers the initial question raised. Does sustainability obsolescence affect the values of non-market properties, such as process industries, if their sustainability uptake is not checked with compliance with local sustainability metrics? Evidence to support the claim. Sustainability research is unique by its being inter- and multidisciplinary nature with its globally interlinked status. Sibben-Huner, 2004, and Fahy and Rao, 2013, proclaim that because Delphi method and sustainability have inter- and multidisciplinary dimensions, it is these approaches that can provide a valid assessment of expert consensus opinion. The study asserts that the conventional Delphi method, C.D.M, reinforces the sustainability impact compliance perspective to the study of sustainability in process industries, where no market exists, by creating a platform that could raise private costs and limit industries' productive output to a level commensurate with their sustainability compliance capacities. The conventional Delphi method, C.D.M, in the view of the researcher, is suited to industrial sustainability-related obsolescence, ISRO, for the reason that the assessment of industrial sustainability-related obsolescence, ISRO, is not appropriate to precise analytical techniques since no industrial sustainability market data exists for comparative analysis. The issue is complex, so requires contributions from people who are acquainted with the socio-cultural, economic and environmental dimensions of sustainability. Therefore, a panel study should most appropriately answer the research question about industrial sustainability-related obsolescence correction factor, that is, the extent to which industrial sustainability features meet the prescribed sustainability criteria, Ibumi et al., 2015. The traditional survey would be less appropriate, Rowe et al., 1991, Jerath and Wainston, 1994, Liston and Duroff, 2002, Okolai and Pawlowski, 2004. The use of the correction factor is one of the sustainability incorporated valuation approaches found in current literature. Its application in a substituted market could provide an estimate of the ISO as a correction factor from which the investment value might be derived. The correction factor scales down the investment values to reflect the industry's sustainability capacities at the date of valuation because there are no comparable transactions to reflect it. Furthermore, the approach has already been accepted by the end-user valuers as an appropriate valuation approach. The industrial sustainability-related obsolescence correction factor is a factor that is multiplied with the result of the valuation figure to correct for a known amount of systemic sustainability obsolescence due to non-compliance with the sustainability metrics. This quality by itself eliminates the arguments that it could treat sustainability in isolation, although care must be taken to prevent double counting. The single input parameter using the all risks yield is a heuristic approach that is subject to wide variances. The lump sum allowance relies on the valuer's inputs together with those from the facilities managers and designers. However, larger assembly of expertise is required in the case of process industries. Description of the evidence. This claim relies on these principles and theories. A. The valuation principles regarding the substitutive market and expectation. B. The Delphi strategy as a valid consensus of a group of experts in providing the industrial sustainability-related obsolescence, ISO, forecasts for the correction factor. C. The environmental economics theory of externalities and inducement. Investors are reluctant or not prepared to invest in sustainability because they are uncertain about immediate returns on retrofitting costs or other additional costs required in embracing sustainability initiatives. Myers, 2009, Nesria, 2011. Second, they need an inducement to do so. Ibumi et al., 2015. However, sustainability may not be determined without the presence of a sustainability market, and the available market information requisite to it. Where no market exists, the valuation principles of substitution and expectation are applied to estimate the ISO. Unless the I.S.R.O is measured in relation to sustainability capacities and underwritten by the investors, they would not be induced to invest in sustainability. Ibumi et al., 2015. Ibumi et al., 2015, argues that the Delphi forecasting technique, DT, could initiate the integration of its multidisciplinary nature to reflect the multidimensional industrial sustainability-related obsolescence for valuing process industries, where no market exists. The purpose would be to serve the aspirations of society for industrial sustainability. Besides, it is environmentally, socially, and perhaps, economically sound, and responsible valuation principle for process industries and their owners to expect to account for the external costs that they create through unsustainable production processes. The other theoretical considerations can be found below. The valuation approach is based on the following theoretical considerations and principles: externality theory from environmental economics, expectation, industry behavior, and the substituted market principle for the cost method of valuation. The expanded expectation principle of valuation, the inducement theory from environmental economics, the expanded sustainability-related information, SRI, base, and the obsolescence-based correction factor. The theory of externality and its application to real estate valuation supports that when possible costs are internalized through the use of the ISRO-CF to revise the valuation figure downwards, the non-sustainable activities could grind gradually to a stop. This way, it is possible to avoid, minimize, or mitigate adverse current and future social, environmental and economic impacts on the society. Notional risks of faster obsolescence and fall in value are also imposed on non-sustainability compliant properties. From the valuation point of view, the expectation of future benefits from proprietary rights creates the present value of such rights to be aggregated as the opinion of value. However, the approach expands the scope of expectation in two rational directions: I, that valuers expect industries to behave in sustainability ways, and 2, the expectation of the industry's willingness to internalize external costs. A rational person will pay no more for a property than that amount by which he can obtain, by the purchase of a site and construction of a building, without undue delay, a property of the similar utility. The application of this principle about the cost method of valuation presupposes the absence of a market-based sustainability. Therefore, a substituted market that could provide the extent of sustainability compliance with the metrics would be an appropriate proposition to measure the correction factor. The behavior of industries shows that industrial firms are sensitive to their internal financial control by often seeking to minimize costs inputs and maximize returns. The correction factor is measured and discounted from the investor's value as an indirect inducement for them to invest in sustainability. Conventional valuation information base has been expanded to capture the other sustainability-related information, S.R.I. The coverage is provided by the 39 sustainability indicators identified by the Delphi experts without consideration for those elements that already form part of the conventional value influencing components. Obsolescence and sustainability are negatively correlated. In that wise, the fair value to the owner relies on the corrected valuation figure. From a logical viewpoint, the extent to which industrial sustainability features meet local sustainability metrics assumption suggests sustainability compliance. It seems to imply that 100% sustainability compliance by the industry would mitigate all impacts to 0%. While the assumption may not always be true in real terms, it may be logical to generalize that the more the sustainability compliance level, the less would be the expected operating value to the business. This work specifies reliable evidence, convincing arguments, procedural fairness and approach characterization of issues in industrial sustainability for inclusion in property valuation that has not been previously addressed. It advances an original point of view that helps to proceed with sustainability valuation for process industries. Summary. The study recognizes that compliance with sustainability requirements precedes sustainability, but tends to promote it. Compliance is the root of sustainability. Conversely, non-compliance could be detrimental to sustainability. Hence, a viable sustainability market could not probably exist without compliance. Resultantly, this study insists that non-compliance ought to be the cause of sustainability obsolescence, SO, and the resultant loss in value. If this is the case, adoption of sustainability initiatives might enhance the utility index of process industries provided stakeholders be well informed. However, a loss in value of the business should be expected due to non-compliance, where a market for sustainability exists, and a loss in value to the business or owner, where no market exists. In the marketplace, obsolescence due to sustainability is reflected through evidence provided on transactions, indirect. However, where no market exists, the owner or business accounts for obsolescence due to sustainability through compliance direct. Sustainability obsolescence, SO, should be assessed for property valuation purpose based on the sustainability uptake for compliance or performance of process industries relative to local sustainability requirements or metrics to leverage on industries to limit their productive capacities to a level commensurate with their sustainability compliance capabilities. Thank you.